Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Last time, oh my lord, to the Space Center, people. To the Space Center. Look over here. Not on Kerbin. On Eve. Look at it. We have a probe in orbit around Eve. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Let's go look at it. Where is it? Which one is it? Oh my lord. Elu or bust. Massive fire. Oh, it's Massive Fireball of Fate number 2. Because we launched 2 of them, and one of them is still in orbit around Kerbin. There it is. Look, that's Eve. Oh my lord, look at it. It's amazing. Anyway, we are going to go back to the Space Center, and we shall build a great vessel to launch. Now, I said we might send one around to like Duna or something, but I have decided that we should undertake a particular mission. Oh my lord. What we will do is execute Operation Eve Landing. That is right. We are going to land a lander on Eve. And you would say, how in the world are you going to succeed at doing that if you haven't even yet succeeded in landing one on the moon? And I will say, mate, I consider landing a lander on Eve to be significantly easier than landing one on the moon. So what we're going to do, for the sake of simplicity and time, we're going to use the same rocket setup. Because our probe... Our lander isn't going to be much more heavy than this guy here. Okay, what we need is, first off, where are the parachutes? Look at that docking port. Docking ports, psh, psh. I can't use docking ports, are you kidding? I tried to use docking ports once. It ended terribly! And I mean it ended really terribly. I mean, a couple people got stuck in space and they never returned. It was quite unfortunate. Anyway, we're not going to dwell on the past that pretty much no one knows about. It's fine. Ooh, launch escape system. What is this? The solid rocket tower is designed to wrench the command pod up and away from a malfunctioning rocket. Huh. I don't know why you would ever use that. Okay. What we want is now a set of micro landing struts upon our lander. Boom, like that. Oh, brilliant. Okay, so how this lander is going to work, we have a parachute and we have the landing gear. We are going to deploy the parachute as we come into land at Eve. This is why it is... I actually consider it significantly easier to land on Eve than it is to land on the moon or anything. What was that? What did I click? Good lord! No! I didn't want to click anything! What's going on? What are you gonna do to us? Oh, I see. We're here. Oh, sorry. Nope. Revert the flight to vehicle assembly. Sorry. Didn't mean to do that. I was trying to create another staging sector. Anyway, the reason I consider it easier to land a rocket on Eve than on the Mun is because of the fact that Eve has an atmosphere, and we can just parachute our way safely down to the surface of Eve, which is exactly what we are going to do. It's going to be brilliant. That one single parachute should be more than enough for this tiny little lander. It's going to land, it will deploy, it's amazing. Amazing solar cells, and it shall sit upon Eve forever. Forever. Okay. This can't be called the Massive Fireball of Fate, because we already have the Massive Fireball of Fate. This will be the Eve Lander of Destined Goldness. Don't you just love my names? Don't you just love them? They just make no sense at all. Dentined Goldness. I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with it. I don't know what it means. I don't know if you know what it means. What even does it mean, mate? You said, what, mate? Question mark? Okay. There we go. Save. The Eve lander of dentined goldness will be launched into space and will land upon Eve. For the most part, this flight will be quite similar to the previous one, except we're going to send it on a collision course with the surface of Eve, which is actually not at all inaccurate. That's exactly what we are going to do. Hello, Eve lander. Hello. Hello. You're doing well. Very good. We can't retract solar panels, can we? I don't think we can. Okay. So we cannot extend these solar panels in the course of this flight, because if we do that, when we try to land it, the force of the just launch, go, get out of here. The force of the wind on the solar panels is going to actually tear them off, which would be wretched, people. Just terrible. We don't want our very nice solar panels to be wrenched off by wind forces. That'd be terrible. The poor probe would just sit there crying as it slowly ran out of electrical charge and then died. That's actually really morbid. Poor probe. Our probes have the worst lives, don't they? Okay, here we are in our standard position. Look at the 1,000-meter long trail of just smoke coming out of the back of our vessel. My God, it's brilliant. Why are we even doing this? I mean, are we even doing any science when we get these probes out here? I'm pretty sure none of them have any scientific equipment on them because I'm cheap and can't be asked to put any on there to begin with. My Lord. Okay, RCS and SAS are on, so that should remain in a pretty good upward motion. It's not going to totter off to either side. I swear to God that's going to happen. I mean, not going to happen. I really will not swear to God that my vessel is going to just like fall off and explode into a fireball of death as it hits the ground, which would be unfortunate on one hand. On the other hand, it did create a fireball of death. And if you know anything about fireballs of death, it's that they look awesome. So maybe it was worth it. I mean, we could check by just turning our vessel around right now, but that's probably not for the best. Okay. Lander, I know you already have a name, but I'm going to name you otherwise. Your name is now Frank. Hello, Frank. We will know each other for, well, in your eyes, probably about somewhere over a year. In my eyes, little more than an hour. So, Frank, how are you? You seem to be quite hot right now, Frank. The atmosphere is burning you up a bit, Frank. I hope you're fine, Frank. If you're not fine, that would be a terrible thing. We are actually, for all I said about us not tottering off to the edge, we are kind of tottering off. Just not the best. Not the best. And we're almost out of fuel for our rockets, our solid fuel rockets, which is good. There we go. Throttle, 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 throttle! Get away from them! Get away! Oh, we're fine. Goodbye! Good luck down on Kerbin. Oh my Lord, they're never getting back, are they? Okay, we need to roll our way into a good position to then... Okay, angle, angle! Create the angle! Not there, no. 90 degrees, please. 90 degrees. Solid 90-degree angle. Thank you very much. There we go. We're right on 90 degrees. That should put us straight on the equator line of Kerbin, which is the ideal line because the equator line also happens to be lined up with every other orbit in the entire solar system, which is quite nice. Well, except for Elu and Minmus and actually Eve. It's not quite lined up with Eve, is it? It's not really lined up with anything else except for the Mun. It's just lined up with the Mun. That's it. Okay, we're going to throttle down. We should be able to go in here. See this? 150,000 kilometers. That's perfect. Let's expand outwards and create our parking orbit from which we shall try to get to Eve. What's that? 112 meters. That's good. That's good. Okay. We're going to do our standard turn off the RCS, get down to the maneuver node, And then we shall begin the waiting game, which in this case shall last for a solid 2 minutes. I would not recommend skipping ahead 2 minutes in the episode, though, because it's going to be less than 2 minutes, I can assure you. We can speed up time because we are time travelers. It's a thing that we do. Okay. Well, Frank, I hope you're feeling good today. Because it's not much of a chance of your survival. You have 7 seconds. There's actually a huge chance of your survival, Frank. You'll be fine, I swear. Okay, fire, 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 fire! Oh yeah, someone in the comments, I can't remember who it was at all. I should have noted it, but they did say that apparently firing the engines actually creates electrical charge. I didn't know. Nobody told me. Why did nobody tell me this? I don't even know. But anyway, now we know, and that's a good thing to know, I would presume. It shall no doubt help save countless a rocket in the future. Or it just won't, and all of our rockets will fail terribly. That would be quite sad. Okay, we're getting into a solid orbital position, it would appear. It's taking a bit of time, but you know, it always does take a bit of time, doesn't it? Got 18, just 15 seconds left to burn. Frank, I wish you well on Eve. I'm not sure we told you before we launched you because you're a probe, and quite frankly, I don't really care. There's actually no one on Eve. Your only companionship will be the orbital probe that is already there. And he's never going to come down to the surface with any hope. He's not designed to do that anyway. So, it's really just you, mate. Sorry. Sorry, bro. It's quite unfortunate. He's going to be quite lonely down there, isn't he? Wow, that is quite a lopsided orbit. Ooh, didn't realize it was that bad. Anyway, we're going to Eve. Set as a target. Now, my friend, launch yourself forth in an attempt to make it to Eve. There we go. Okay. What is our orbit like? That's what we need to do first off. We just need to go far enough to create an exit orbit from Kerbal, and then we create our next maneuver that actually gets us to Eve. Here we go. To the maneuver node, away! With any hope, at least. Okay. There we go. We are at our maneuver node. We have 3 minutes left. I'm gonna fire our engines just a bit. Gain a bit of electricity. It's probably not a good idea, actually. I don't know what that did to our orbit. I'm sure it's fine, though. I'm sure it's fine. Okay. Looks like we should have enough electrical charge for when we get to this maneuver node. I'm pretty sure the sun's still going to be on the other side of Kerbal, which is not the best. It's never the best when that happens. Luckily, for the most part, we're never going to be behind Kerbal again, because we are leaving Kerbal. Goodbye, Kerbal. Goodbye. We've just left you a bunch of debris to sit around you for the rest of eternity. Hope you enjoy that. It's not going to enjoy it. It's going to be quite cross with us, actually, about the whole, you know, leaving a bunch of debris around it. It's like if you go to someone's house and you're just leaving their house party and you just take all of your empty, like, tin cans and just throw them out on their porch. It's like, bro, you can't do that, bro. I mean, why? Why would you even think that's a good idea? I mean, unfortunately, because you've just done that, you're gonna have to get knifed a couple times, and that's unfortunately what happens around here when people just, you know, go and litter all over our friggin' lawn! I mean, it is quite terrible. Why are you not slowing down? Oh, good lord. I was hitting shift instead of control. Yeah, that's never... Those buttons don't do the same thing. Good God. Okay. Okay, we are now in an orbital position. Oh my lord. So probably the most fuel-efficient means of getting out there will be to use this position and slow down. So we're going to slow down here. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Oh, feisty. That's not a very good position, is it? What if we do the blue? The blue has always worked in the past, hasn't it? Nah, I don't think this position is going to work. So Eve's going to be over here, meaning that we went... I think we need to go earlier on our orbit in order to meet with Eve. So we're going to go here. Slow it down. Oh, yep, I was right! I was correct! Look at me, I'm correct. Oh, good lord. It's still not far enough, though. So we're going to go over here, add the maneuver, and we're going to slow down again. How do you feel? Any encounter? Oh, look at that encounter. Oh, that's a close encounter of the third kind. Oh, good god. Even though it's a close encounter of the third kind, it's still not good enough. We're going to have to try again. Slow down from here. No, that's even worse. It's worse! How did it get worse? Good lord. I guess it is actually quite a ways away from each other. Okay, right there. If we can slow down. No, how about we go the other way? That's not going to work either. Okay. Okay, I see how it is. I see how it is. Let's find that previous position where we were really close. Oh, there. Oh. Right there. We are quite close, in fact. So if we slow ourselves down a bit, then we do a little slow down here. Ooh, ooh. 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 Yes! There it is! We got it. We got it. Look at it. It's right there. We've got an encounter with Eve in some, like, it's like a year. Oh, good lord. Well, away we go. Da, 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 da. Not 50 times. I need like 100,000 million times. We're waiting an entire year, people. We can't just chill out. Good lord. Okay. It's going to be another 140 days before we get to our fire position. Speaking of getting to our fire position, we are not actually in our fire position as of yet. We are also facing away from the sun and thereby have no electricity on us. That's not good. See, now we have electricity. Very good. Very good. Let us get aligned with our maneuver node. Darn the sun and all of its terrible, like, not being facing my solar panels all the time. And also, darn just terrible grammar just randomly occurring as I'm speaking. It happens all the time, doesn't it? Okay, there we go. That's nice. So we're now in that position. That is the position we want to be in, and we need to wait another 100 days. Frank has been out there for like 250 days. It's like the quantity of Pokemon there used to be. Now there's billions of them. Billions of Pokemon! You can't even remember them all. And if you do remember them all, that's not impressive, that's just sad. It's really pathetic, actually. Don't remember all of the Pokemon. That's terrible. Okay. We are now a mere 2 hours from our firing time. Half of a year has passed. Well, more than half of a year has passed for nice Frank here. Poor, poor Frank, who's been sitting out all alone. Has had no one to speak to, and of course we don't speak to him, because why would we talk to Frank? Look, there's a reason we sent Frank out here. We didn't want to talk to Frank anymore. Frank is a big downer. Frank, every day he came over, he was just like, guys, do you realize it's possible that, like, our lives could have no meaning? And everyone's just like, Frank, Shut up. Nobody cares right now, Frank. We're watching football, Frank. That's not a legitimate topic right now, Frank. Jeez, Frank. And then Frank just like goes off into the corner and just like stands in the corner because he's a strange one. Yeah, it was best that we sent Frank out here, really. I think this will be good for Frank and us. Mostly us. Partially Frank. Poor Frank. Poor Frank. Well, at least now he won't... Oh, no. That's true. He won't have a corner to stand in anymore. Because he's going to be on Eve, and there's no buildings on Eve. And when there's no buildings, there tend to not be any corners. So, poor Frank, you're just going to have to stand in the middle of a field and contemplate your existence. That's quite sad for poor Frank. Oh, Frank. Good for you, Frank. Okay, do we have our thing? Do we? Maybe. Let's check. Nope. Nope, that's a solid nope. Okay, let's go into orbit and then... Other way. Other way! Turn off the SAS, you fool! The SAS gets in our way. We almost had an encounter with Eve. I'm gonna go for SAS again. Okay. Oh, no. No. We're gonna have to flip around again. I'm sorry, Frank. It has to happen. On occasion, we have to flip you back and forth just to make sure that you actually get to where you're going. Okay. SAS is on. There we go. We got it. I just had to do minuscule maneuvers there. Okay. We now have an encounter with Eve on our orbit. Brilliant, people. Brilliant. Well, with that, we come to the end of our episode. We'll have to leave Frank out in the void of space for now. Next time we come back, we shall have Frank get into orbit around Eve and then attempt to land himself upon the surface of Eve. It shall be brilliant. But until then, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.